What is modern art and how did it begin?
Modern art, as we understand it today, began to take shape during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a period marked by significant changes in society, culture, and technology. This was a time of industrial revolution, urbanization, and political upheaval, all of which had profound impacts on the way people perceived the world around them. The inception of modern art can be traced back to the Impressionist movement in France during the 1860s and 1870s. Artists like Claude Monet, Edgar Degas, and Pierre-Auguste Renoir began to break away from traditional artistic conventions, focusing instead on capturing fleeting impressions of light, color, and movement. They were less concerned with creating a realistic representation of the world, and more interested in conveying the subjective experience of perception. Following the Impressionists, a series of avant-garde movements emerged, each challenging and redefining what art could be. Post-Impressionism, Symbolism, Fauvism, Cubism, Futurism, Expressionism, Dada, Surrealism. These movements pushed the boundaries of artistic expression, embracing abstraction, distortion, and non-traditional techniques and materials.
But how did this become possible? Who was so brave as to change the rules and force others to accept them?
Edouard Manet, a pivotal figure in the transition from realism to impressionism, significantly contributed to the formation of modern art. His innovative approach to painting and his audacious defiance of academic norms challenged traditional artistic conventions and paved the way for the emergence of modern.
As an artist, I have always believed in challenging the status quo. My works, Olympia, Luncheon on the Grass, and Lunch in the Studio are examples of how I sought to disrupt traditional approaches in visual arts.
What significant is happening culturally at this time in Paris?
In 1863, Georges Bizet's opera Les Pêcheurs de Perles premiered and Hector Berlioz's opera Les Trojans also debuted at the Lyric Theatre. The Paris Observatory begins publishing weather maps. The recipe for the herbal liqueur Benedictine was developed by Alexandre Legrand in Fécamp. Jules Verne's first adventure novel, 5 Weeks in a Balloon, is published. And Edouard Manet creates the paintings Olympia and Lunch on the Grass in Paris. Manet's painting Olympia, 1863, is a stark example of his radical approach. Rather than portraying the idealized, passive nude common in academic painting, Manet presents a confrontational, contemporary woman who looks directly at the viewer. This was a shocking departure from traditional depictions of the female nude, and it challenged societal norms about morality, sexuality, and power dynamics. The painting was met with harsh criticism when it was exhibited in the 1865 Paris Salon. However, it played a crucial role in shifting the artistic perspective towards modernity by emphasizing the importance of contemporary subjects and challenging traditional norms.
Hello. Do you feel attracted?
In Olympia, I wanted to redefine the way female nudity was portrayed in art. Until then, it was often idealized and depicted in a mythological context. In contrast, I chose to depict a real woman, not a goddess or nymph, but a courtesan, confronting the viewer with her gaze. I used light and shadow to emphasize her form, making her the undeniable focus of the painting. This was a departure from the norm and it caused quite a stir, but it was necessary to move away from the idealization and towards a more realistic representation of women.
The painting Olympia by Edouard Manet is one of the most iconic and controversial artworks of the 19th century. Here are some interesting facts about the painting and its history. Firstly, the model for Olympia was a woman named Victorine Meurent. She was not just a model, but also an artist in her own right. Meurent was Manet's favorite model and muse. She appeared in several of his other works, including Luncheon on the Grass and The Railway. Despite her significant role in Manet's work, Meurent struggled with poverty and was largely forgotten until recent years. Secondly, the painting was unveiled at the 1865 Paris Salon and caused a scandal. The viewers were shocked not just by the nudity, but by Olympia's confrontational gaze and the contemporary setting. Unlike traditional nude paintings, where women were depicted as goddesses or nymphs in an idealized setting, Olympia was a modern woman, a courtesan, looking directly at the viewer. This broke the conventions of the time and challenged the societal norms. Thirdly, Olympia was a response to Titian's Venus of Urbino. Manet took inspiration from Titian's work but replaced the soft, submissive Venus with a confident, modern woman. Olympia's black cat, which symbolizes prostitution, is a stark contrast to the sleeping dog in Titian's painting, which represents fidelity. Lastly, despite the initial backlash, Olympia had a significant impact on the art world. It paved the way for modernism and influenced many artists, including Pablo Picasso, who painted his own version of Olympia in 1901. Edouard Manet's Olympia continues to inspire today, with the most modern evolutionary artworks based on Olympia available for viewing on the online gallery, grandperson.com.